Shelby Valley Diner.
Nothing could be finer than eating at Shelby Valley Diner. As I always say, hey, I got the wings tonight, and boy, they are delicious, folks. If you've never had the wings here, I'm telling you, come and get you some wings. They are as good as you'll eat anywhere.
Oh, you can't beat it. I'm telling you, the staff is so cool. Just really work with us, help us set up, get everything ready to go. I'm telling you what, couldn't be any better. I mean, here the way they treat us.
And the Shelby Valley Diner to me is a great location, easily accessible right off 23 here at Robinson Creek. 5 seconds and you're here. Seriously, I mean, we're not being facetious. Cut off 23 here at Robinson Creek, and Shelby Valley, as you come down the approach, we call it, Shelby Valley Diner is right on the left, so great food, great service, clean as all. I mean, everybody loves a clean restaurant. This one is just, have you noticed, when we're here, it seems like they're always cleaning.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said.
Somebody's got a bucket, somebody's got a mop, somebody's got a broom there. Fantastic.
Absolutely. Ronnie, we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to do a sound check.
We got a lot going on the Appalachian Prep Sports Network, the fastest growing podcast and all access in the mountains. And we're glad to have you with us. Thank you to our sponsors. We thank the people that listen, and we get so many comments now. Hey, love listening to you guys, and we appreciate that. We don't take it for granted. We're out at the ball games and everything. They come up and they say, and it does. You can't help it. They say, we don't listen to anybody anymore except we check and see what game you're covering,
That's awesome. I tell you, it really has made me feel good. The notoriety, people liking the page. I'm going to say it already, like and follow. Already up to over 1,400 followers. Picked up 25 followers last night from that volleyball game that we did. We're not going to talk about it just yet. We got a lot to talk about a little bit later on about that. But a lot of good stuff going on here on APSN.
Try not to take a lot of commercials, even though I want to eat my wings, but that's okay. But first thing we're going to look at, Tom, and I guess we might as well get into it, is to recap last week's high school games. We're talking about some teams have already played 7 games, you know what I'm saying? And as we go really into week 8 because of 0 week, they call it 0 week when teams play, but the season starts then. But boy, the high school football season hit. I mean, we're deep into district play and everything. The games become more important. Those games, which are great. Those games early in the season, are for great matchups, for the fans, and what have you. But now it's time to get down. You play district play to determine who goes to the playoffs and determine the seeds.
Oh, exactly right. It gets serious time now because you got to get ready to make that postseason run. And we've got a great game on tap Friday night. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Well, last week, let's recap some of the scores. I'm sure most of you have heard most of them. The game we had, Shelby Valley, come from behind. They trailed 19-13 at halftime, and then a big 33-6 advantage, Thomas. And I think the difference there was the 3 second-half turnovers from Betsy Lane, but Shelby Valley pulled away and won that game 46-25. What's important on that? Betsy Lane, they dropped to 0-2 in the district, having lost previously to East Ridge. Shelby Valley moves to 2-0 with wins over Pike County Central and now Betsy Lane. And, of course, a big one Friday night, as you said, when we got Shelby Valley at East Ridge. And East Ridge, they're 1-2 in the district. They lost to Pike County Central. They lost to Belfry. They defeated Betsy Lane. Shelby Valley can go a long way of setting up a matchup in district play of undefeated Shelby Valley against undefeated Belfry. Now, granted, they're going to be a huge underdog against Belfry. But even with the loss to Belfry, if they defeat East Ridge Friday night, they will have a home field advantage come playoff time.
Well, that's huge. That's huge. Hey, and listen, I can't say enough about that Betsy Lane squad. I know they're struggling, but you got to look, man, so young. Got a freshman quarterback, got a freshman running backs, receivers, a lot of youth there. So Betsy Lane fans, get behind you, Coach. Coach Gerald's doing a great job, and he is going to build that program. Remember, they've graduated a whole lot the last couple of years. It's tough for these smaller schools, Ronnie Paul.
Yeah, got a great future when you got a freshman quarterback with the talent and the moxie of Eli Gerald. That's the coach's son. Does a tremendous job. And when you look, you're thinking, what experience this guy's getting this year. You know what I mean? He started every game. He's putting up some pretty good stats. And then Grayson Hall in the backfield, you know what I'm saying is, I mean, they have got a lot of things going on at Betsy Lane. For the Betsy Lane faithful, in my opinion, hey, you got great days ahead. I mean, really. I mean,
I
with
agree.
Gerald and you look at Lyman and others, and you look down at your roster, and you see freshmen, sophomores. Now, you know, they throw in a couple seniors and juniors, but most of them underclassmen. I mean, and very competitive. Like I say, they were up 19-13. I think the only difference in that game is the 3 second-half turnovers.
Exactly right. The turnovers down the stretch really hurt them and allowed Shelby Valley to push it out. But, hey, we can't take nothing away from the way Shelby Valley played.
No.
I mean, Jonah Bartley was a beast, man.
Tremendous game.
He made our next up list. You'll see that a little bit here at the end of the show. He had a great game, and so did Tanner
Maynard.
Tanner Maynard. Tanner, sorry, man, you was 5th on the list to make it. We go straight by stats, and he would have been there too.
We watched Shelby Valley earlier in the year after the loss of Brady Johnson, their quarterback, and boy, their offense was going nowhere. I don't know if you agree with me, but I think Elijah Blackman just looks better every week. He's becoming more comfortable in there at quarterback, and you was talking about Jonah Bartley. I thought Jonah Bartley and Bryce Bentley had tremendous games defensively for Shelby Valley overnight, and had come up with some big plays on offense. And I'll say this, hats off. I know sometimes people think, oh, we're critical of officials and we're critical of coaches, but I thought Coach Tyler Johnson did an outstanding job with some play calling. I mean, I thought he made some excellent calls, especially in the second half, to get them a little breathing room. But Shelby Valley, they get the win, and they're 2-0 in the district. And then the other games we had, that I'm surprised, Thomas, by who won this game. I'm surprised by the margin. Hazard at Paintsville, and Hazard a big 56-33 win.
Yeah, that was, especially after Prestonsburg beat Hazard 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought Hazard, I would have gave the edge to Hazard, but I thought it would have been closer.
I do too. I agree with you, and that was a big win for Hazard, 56-33.
Big defensive performance by Brody Howell. Big for Paintsville. You'll see his stats in a little bit.
You know, they have one of the best offensive players in Lawfer. Seth Lawfer, great basketball player, but boy, he is a tremendous football player also.
Yeah.
You know? But another score, and hats off to them. I'll tell you, let's talk about the Phelps Hornets. 22-18 over Montcalm, Virginia. They moved to 3-3 on the year.
Yeah, Phelps is doing so much better this year. They had a great running back performance. Oh my goodness, I forgot the young man's name. He put up over 100 yards in that game. So good job by the Phelps Hornets picking up another quality win.
Or Victoriano, I'm not sure.
I can't think of his name. I'll look it up.
Belfry and Pikeville, of course, they had bye weeks last week, and I want to talk about 3 teams. Prestonsburg, 7-0, undefeated. 7-0 is pretty good, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
57-22 over Floyd County Central, but what a job, down there Coach Hager's done. 7-0, they've beaten everybody in the path. That's all you can ask.
Well, exactly right. And Floyd Central was really, really struggling this year. They've got again another team that's extremely young. Got a star receiver who's a sophomore and a sophomore quarterback. You know, hang in there, guys. New coach. We're gonna be okay. I say we because, my son graduated from there, so I'll say we. Just hang in there and let him do his thing.
Ketron Mays, a sophomore. Buck, a sophomore. They're going to wreak havoc down the road. Let me tell you.
You're exactly right, but you know what? Prestonsburg is tough. When you got the Hurricane, that's Kane Patton's nickname. The Hurricane. He's been storming all over Eastern Kentucky lately.
And I've been impressed with the quarterback. I'm telling you, Johnson's having an outstanding year. You don't get to 7-0 without the quarterback playing well. But anyway, Prestonsburg is one of the 3 teams I wanted to talk about. The other one, Knott County Central. What about them? 32-12 over Leslie County. Knott County having a tremendous year this year.
Well, absolutely. They were undefeated till Prestonsburg came to town, and that stopped that. But a lot of teams can say that with Prestonsburg.
And then we'll talk briefly about Lawrence County. Lawrence County only 1 loss on the year, and they defeated Powell County 43-7. So Lawrence County keeps moving on. My third team that I want to talk about is Martin County, 48-18. A win 2 weeks ago over Leslie County, 6-1 on the season. The only loss was to Lawrence County in the opener, 35-7. But what a job Josh Muncie has done at Martin County.
Oh, I agree. He's got. You talk about quarterbacks. Well, let me tell you, Devin Maynard is a beast. I mean, this kid is amazing. Does it on the ground, does it through the air, and he'll lay the pads to you on defense. I mean, he plays both sides of the ball.
You got a Devin Maynard.
Yeah. You know, I could coach. I believe I got to give me a Devin Maynard. And let's don't leave out.
Newsom could coach with
That's
Devin
it.
Maynard.
A Crayson Lafferty, and you know,
one of the best defensive players, number 28,
and
in the mountains. I mean, he's tremendous.
And now
Runs
getting
the ball.
now getting a chance on offense.
Yes, absolutely. So recap those real quick. Hazard 56, Paintsville 33. Phelps over Montcalm 22-18. Shelby Valley 46-25 over Betsy Lane. Pike County Central gets their second win of the year, 47-28, a district win for Pike County Central. And Knott County 32-12 over Leslie. Martin County 48-18 2 weeks ago over Leslie. Didn't want you to think Leslie County's playing two opponents. Lawrence County 43-7. And one other score I'll mention, with the running clock. I don't know, it's been a long time since Letcher puts up 71 points on McGoffin, 71-28. You don't see that too often, do you?
No.
In this with the running clock, which is a good rule.
Well, I agree, and Letcher Central's got a great quarterback in Gunnar Holbrook. I mean, let me tell you what, man, they're going to be a tough out. That's going to be a good matchup because now, if I'm not mistaken, Ronnie, didn't they drop down to 3A?
Yeah, I think they did.
So you've got a collision course with our friends up there in Lawrence County and Letcher Central.
They won't have to worry about the Boyle counties and the Bell counties and those kind of things. But anyway, that's last week's high school. We're going to be back and talk about this week's upcoming games and make our predictions, everything. And you're listening to the All Access on the Appalachian Prep Sports Network. We'll be right back.
All right, Ronnie, we're back, ready to talk about this week's action.
You know we only had time to get one wing down, Tom.
Yeah.
A little disappointed, but that's okay. We'll get back to them. And I look ahead of the games. First game, I will be there Friday night. I have two grandsons in the homecoming court. It'll be powerful playing host to Paintsville, and that is homecoming. And, you know, you say that about a lot of teams, but I think I've not seen them in person. I've seen them on I think Paintsville's one of those teams getting a little better every week.
Oh, I agree. I think so too. And everybody looks at the schedule and they say, well, look at the losses. Yeah, look at the losses. That's what I want to say. Look at who they lost to.
Absolutely.
You know, there'll be a lot of teams that have those losses. But I think they're a quality opponent. I think they're going to make their run. Now they're getting into district play. They'll have Hazard, right? They'll have to eventually.
They got Paintsville and Hazard the following week.
Okay, so they're going to have 2 tough games back to back. But it's getting them ready for that playoff run, and that's what those Panthers are known for.
Justice, a good running back. J.J. Reynolds having an excellent year, but I'll say this. I think Pikeville has the best receiving core as a group in the mountains. I mean, when you talk about Cole Sloan and you talk about Mikey Hager and you talk about Harrison Fields and that crew, probably as good as you'd find in the mountains as far as number of receivers that J.J. Reynolds can go to.
Well, it's athletes. I mean, that's what that is. That's all athletes right there. So it really makes a huge difference when you got athletes and playmakers that when they get the ball, they can take a simple short pass and turn it into something big in a hurry.
My prediction for this week, Pikeville keeps rolling on.
I think so.
They make the homecoming crowd happy, and Pikeville escapes with it. But you know what? And you say that about a lot of rivalry games, college and high school. Boy, it seems like Paintsville always plays them tough. I mean,
yeah.
But I'll go with Pikeville. Then our game of the week on the APSN network, and it ought to be a dandy, I'm telling you. Shelby Valley travels to East Ridge. Shelby Valley 2-0 in the district. East Ridge 1-2. Shelby Valley with a big win. They could go a long way of getting that number 2 seed, and then they'll meet Belfry the following week.
But you know what? This is not your typical Eastridge team, man. They've got a back. Let's talk about Talon Jordan. I'm sorry.
Jordan, yep.
Player of the week. He didn't do much wrong. He just ran for 307 yards last week in the loss, but just ran for 307 yards.
I tell you, it is amazing what I love about Jordan is when he gets to that corner, it's not a burst of speed. He has such patience, and people don't understand that in running back. He has patience to wait and let those blockers get out in front of him. But, wow, tremendous talent. Jordan could play for anybody. I'm Belfry, Pikeville, whoever you want to name. And then he's got help, Morgan Sloan gets the tough yards on the inside, Ratliff, Mullins, other guys that can hurt you. You pay too much attention to Jordan or Sloan and don't think that Cole Ratliff and Aiden Mullins can't hurt you.
You're exactly right. But you know what I like about Jordan? The passion and fire he plays with. After every play, he's showing that emotion. And I mean, he is really just a joy to watch. So tune in Friday night because this will be a good one.
Well, I hate missing that. I tell you, I really do. That will be a great game to watch. And I'll say this, I'm really impressed. I mean, and you notice I'm not one of those that, every game I'll brag on the coach. But I think Coach Burdine does an excellent job. I think he's a really good X and O coach. I really do.
I'm with you right there, and he's really had a good year. I know the record may not be where he wants it to be, but listen, we all got to remember he lost his starting freshman quarterback, second week of the season?
Yes.
Just like we talked about Tyler Johnson, what kind of adjustments did he have to make? Because when we talked to him that first week there, it was all about the future and what this young man was going to bring, and now somebody's stepping in.
And it is just like Shelby Valley because when they got hurt, Brady Johnson from Shelby Valley and Kanan Ramey, everybody had to take on a different role.
Yeah.
I was going to play out here. Now I got to line up in the back. Makes such a big difference. I mean, it takes time.
Yep, and you're seeing it. They're getting better every week. I look for them to make some noise.
I'm going to go with Valley to get the win on the road Friday night. Our next game, Belfry at Betsy Lane. Like I say, Betsy Lane, a lot of young people. I am impressed also with Coach Jared Gerald. I think he does a really, really good job down there. His son is going to be a very, very, already a good quarterback, but he's going to really get better. 3 years. Only a freshman, and I can't wait to see what he's like when he's a junior, senior. Taking on Belfry, okay? What else you going to say? It's Belfry, you know what I'm saying? 4-year starter at quarterback. Matt Varney, I think, has just done a great job. I mean, in his first season, only one loss. That was to Johnson Central. But I'm going to go with Belfry on the road against Betsy Lane.
Well, it's Belfry. It's Belfry.
Then we got Johnson Central at Greenup. And Johnson Central undefeated. I think in the AP poll, they're ranked 3rd. That 4A, though, is so tough with the Boyle counties and everything. That's a tough Not that all the classes aren't tough or got some great teams, but there's just some of them you don't want to run up against. Now Johnson Central, they impressed me when they went on the road and beat Corbin a couple of weeks ago, 37-34. Why would people say that? Listen, you don't go to Corbin and win.
Well, you're exactly right. That's tough. I mean, that's a tough place. And they came in there and made it look easy. You know, they were up big in the first half. I mean, it came to be a little closer at the end, but another quality win for Johnson Central. And, I look at stats. I put together the player of the weeks, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's solely – somebody said, well, how do you do it? It's solely based on stats, Ronnie. Mm-hmm. They have different players each week that has breakout performances. Mm-hmm. It's like they have a whole stable of running backs down there.
Yeah, they got a good quarterback in Austin Sloan, but I agree with you. You don't know which running back's going to hurt you.
Yeah. Well, this last week was Brennan Daniels, the youngster. So, I mean, there's just tons of running backs down there, and it's kind of like running back by committee.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Johnson Central easy in that game over Greenup County. Then the next game, Leslie County having a tough year. They lost last week 32-12 to Knott County, taking on undefeated Prestonsburg. I like Prestonsburg big in this game.
Oh yeah, Prestonsburg continues to roll. I'm going to say it. Circle that week of when they face Martin County. That's going to be the next big test, in my opinion, for Prestonsburg. No offense to our fans over in Leslie County, but Prestonsburg's playing on a different level right now. Again, unbelievable quarterback and two running backs. Patton gets all the love. But Colin Hatfield's no slouch either.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's in beast mode.
Yeah, he can carry the mails, we like to say. But, Prestonsburg and Martin County looking down the road, always, when I know it's a great game, I said, I'd buy a ticket to see that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I'd buy one too.
McGoffin County coming off a loss last week to Letcher Central, taking on McGoffin taking on Pike County Central. I see Pike County Central getting their third win in that game.
I think it'll be a closer game. Obviously, it's at Pike County Central. I think that's going to play into it, but I think the Hornets are going to be competitive in this one. I look for them to bounce back.
Okay.
They've got a great running back too.
And then we got Martin County, only one loss on the year. They are 6-1. Last time out, they defeated Leslie 48-18. They take on Floyd County Central, and no offense to the young Floyd County Central team, but I'll have to go with Martin County in that game and see them. I got them moving to 7-1.
I agree. I don't think that. I don't think they're ready. They're just not ready. The youth movement against the veterans, just don't see it right now.
And then Phelps at Twin Valley. And I'm going to pick the Hornets to go 4-3 in that and get a big win over Twin Valley. Don't know much about Twin Valley, but I'm going to go with the Hornets.
I like the Hornets. Like I said, I think they're making some great progress over there, and they're, it's a shame they're not in the districts. Mm-hmm. That's. I mean, I understand the reason and the rationale, but it's just hard when you're not playing for that district seeding. So.
Yeah. Before we go to a break, Thomas, let's talk a little about the college football scene. Of course, Kentucky off their second bye week. I expect them to play good Saturday night. You just get feelings sometimes. I don't think they'll win, but they play Texas. And at 7 o'clock at Kroger Field, Texas coming off a big win over Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry there. And I tell you what, that game was played in Austin, and Texas was behind 6-3, and they come back and get the win. Arch Manning finally performing like everybody thought they would. You know what I'm saying? My daughter said she loves the Mannings. I don't, but that's neither here nor there. She loves Eli and she loves Peyton. She said, "Dad, I've got to go to that game. I got to go watch Arch Manning." And I thought, "Oh gosh!" But anyway, Texas. I think that they will. I think they will get the win over Kentucky. Hope Kentucky plays well, acquits themselves well. Right now, I think the talent level, and I tell you, in my opinion, I think it's happened with Kentucky just about as much as anybody. I think it's NIL money.
Oh, well, absolutely. That's changed the whole landscape of college sports. Let's face it. But I'll say this. Me and Eugene were talking today. How can Bloomington, Indiana do it and Lexington, Kentucky can't? Right?
That gives me hope. I'll tell you why. If Indianapolis can do it, I think they have a population of about 80,000. Kentucky population, if that's got anything to do with it, 300,000. Here's my thoughts. If you can do it in Bloomington, Indiana, Indiana has been, do you know Indiana has more losses in their history than any Power 5 school? Indiana Hoosiers have more
When you
football
think about
losses
that,
than any team in history. They are third. I've always said this, you get the right person, you get more money, you get more fan support, you get better facilities. But boy, it starts with that man at the top. I think Stoops, I'm not saying he's given up. I think Stoops has given us some great moments. I really do. I mean, we've been to bowls. We've gotten some bowl victories. I think he's just up against it right now. But let me say this. I'm going to be one of the first to say this. People listening says, Thomas, why do you get that guy on there? He's crazy. I tell you, not because Barnhart. A lot of people have already got him gone. It's soon. Who are we going to get? Don't be surprised. I'm telling you, Stoops gets another year next year. Huh? You don't think so, Thomas?
I don't know. I mean, the fan base is getting a little rowdy, so I don't know. Does that weigh into it? The rumor is, what was it? Another team was interested in him, Virginia Tech.
I'd love to see that happen.
I would
like
too.
Coach Stoops. I think he's a good guy. But if he left, I'd love to listen to the people out of Texas and see, okay, Stoops does leave. Let's just play the hypothetical game. Who would Kentucky hire, or who could they get? Now, I'm on the line a lot at nights, and I'm looking at these, and they don't mean anything. But three names that I hear: Dan Mullen from used to be the coach at Florida,
Yeah.
Mississippi State, doing a good job at Nevada, Las Vegas now. He's doing a great job out there. And a name a lot of people don't really have heard, but I've heard his name. I don't know, is Coach Key from Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Now, he's an alumni of Georgia Tech, but he's turned that program around. He's done a tremendous job, but I've heard his name seen and bannered about. But I still say if they make a change, your coach will come from the Tulane Greenway and be John Summerall.
Yep, I've heard that name a lot. So should be interesting to see.
Linebacker, played at Kentucky, coached at Troy State, done a great job. He was assistant coach at Kentucky, went to Troy State, done a good job at Tulane. And, he made a comment on the post game. They won the other day, and they said, Coach, what about your team tonight? And he said, I tell you, we're a sloppy team. He said, we're finding a way, but he said, if we don't start cleaning up, he didn't say, I'm proud of my young man, this, that. He didn't get on the bat. He said, we are a very sloppy team. He said, if we don't start correcting. And I like that.
Honesty goes a long way, don't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But I hope the Cats can maybe pull off a major upset, but I think Texas, position by position, just has so much more talent. So much more depth than Kentucky's got, and
so much more NIL money.
Texas, to give the fans, we know, but you pretty well can figure these things out. They say Texas has as much NIL money as anybody. They got like $50 million for football, not for sports. $50 million to spend on football. Where Kentucky, I can guarantee, is less than 20.
Oh,
You don't think you can do some things with $35 million or $40 million difference?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. But with that, we're going to step out and take our second time out, and we'll be back and take a quick look at some more NCAA games. Then we'll get into baseball and Midnight Madness as you listen to the All Access on the Appalachian Prep Sports Network. Back in a moment.
All right, we're back, Ronnie Paul. You ready to talk a little more college football?
I do want to mention one thing for our fans that maybe don't get online and look at a lot of things. This week, Penn State, you could argue probably right there with one of the top. They definitely, I think, one of the top 5 football programs in the country. I mean, you talk about Ohio State, the Michigan, you talk about Alabama, Georgia. I put Penn State right in there since the days of Joe Paterno. Something I wanted to pass along to the people watching and listening. They fired their coach, James Franklin. You know what his record was? He 100. Now, think if that was at Kentucky. Stoops gets a contract for $10 million, and he is below 500 at UK. Now, listen to this. James Franklin got fired. He was 104-25.
Yeah.
Didn't win the big one, you're out. You know, and I was telling someone at work today, and I think you'll agree with me. When I was growing up, basketball, baseball, professional or what, the minimum, seriously, was 5 years. You never seen coaches, unless there was violations or something like out of the ordinary. They always got 5 years, always. You got a 5-year contract. Now, you don't last a year, you don't last 2 years if you don't do the job. James Franklin is out at Penn State with a record of 104-25. Penn State thinks they can get it really about anybody they want. 3 names I mentioned there: Kurt Cignetti from Indiana. I don't think he'll take it. Lane Kiffin, anytime a job comes open, Kiffin's name's mentioned. I don't think he'll live in Mississippi. I think the next coach at Penn State will be Matt Rule from I think he'll be the next coach. Him and the athletic director are still good friends. They worked together before. They vacationed together. Don't ever underestimate stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
They are best friends. Not in the past, but still are. So I think Matt Rule will get that job. He's in Nebraska right now, doing a good job. And you heard we talked about Stoops, the rumor to Virginia Tech. I equated that to Tubby Smith leaving at Kentucky after 10 or 11 years to go to Minnesota. It was a good move for everybody. Good move for Tubby, and I think that would be a good move for Stoops if he could get the job. And if they offer Virginia Tech, listen, they've had a lot of success, a great place to live, you know.
Beamer ball, right? Back
Beamer
in the
ball.
day. I mean, you know, when you think of them, you think of powerful defenses, not a lot of offense. Hey, Stoops, you know, that might be right up his alley.
Some people I talk to say that Stoops will be relieved, but he loves Lexington, which I'm glad to hear that. And he would probably stay on in some capacity as an ambassador, the job they wanted Cal to take. Anyway, games this week, we go through them really quick. We got Texas over Kentucky, Alabama and Tennessee, third week in October.
Oh, yeah. Boy, that'd be a good game right there.
Always the third week in October, Alabama and Tennessee. Let me say this, and I like Alabama. I liked them when Saban got there. I liked the way they played, the discipline, everything. And when you really don't, you know, you root for Kentucky, you don't have a chance. But I got to really like Alabama. But I'm going to go with Tennessee over Alabama in that game. Iowa, Penn State. I think Penn State gets one of those, what do you call them, moral victories.
Yeah.
Iowa's only lost once this year. They've got a very good football team. The Nittany Lions the last 2 weeks have lost, and maybe they'll either win or get blown out. They've either quit or they're going to fight back and get a narrow victory over Iowa. Arkansas is at A&M. I'll go with A&M in that game. Arkansas coached by Bobby Trino, former coach at Arkansas, former coach twice at Louisville. He's going to do his best to keep that job. I don't think he will, but A&M will get the win over Arkansas. South Carolina at Oklahoma. Oklahoma laid an egg last week. They'll get the win, I think, over South Carolina.
I agree.
A battle of quarterbacks there. John Mateer from Oklahoma, and of course Lenore Sellers on the draft boards. He's picked in the top 10 from South Carolina. Hey, what about this one? Georgia and Ole Miss. That'll be.
I'm gonna go Ole Miss.
I think I will too. I think I will go with the Ole Miss Rebels in that and over Georgia. Florida and Mississippi State. Boy, that's a pick'em game. Billy Napier from Florida, good guy, trying to weather the storm. I think Mississippi State will get the win in this game. And then Auburn at Missouri. I'll go with Missouri. They lost narrative. They may have a letdown after playing Alabama last week, and Auburn lost at home, of course, to Georgia. But I'm going to go with Missouri in that.
Yeah, I was clapping, Ronnie. I was clapping.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll say this now. I'll make this comment. And we'll get off college football. The best team all around I've seen, and I don't like them. Don't say I don't want people saying, "Oh man, I can't believe you picked them." Don't care. One of my least, probably 3 or 4 college football teams. They're the best team I've seen. It's amazing how you change in football from week to week in the NFL and college. You know, I seen Oregon, and I thought, boy, I don't know if anybody can beat Oregon. And then they get loose to Indiana at home. Best team I've seen is Ohio State.
Wow.
You know,
well, that's tradition rich right there. I mean, you talk about every year just one of the top 5 teams, so that doesn't surprise me.
Maybe people not keeping up with it. This used to be a great baseball community with the Reds and everything. It's not anymore. I don't. It is not. People used to come into my office and at the bank and they'd say, "Did you watch the Red? They should have done that." Nobody never comes in and makes a comment. We will say this: Seattle is up 2-0 on Toronto. I picked when these series started. I picked Toronto and Los Angeles, but boy, the Seattle's pitching has shut Toronto down. Hard to come back from 2-0 when you lose the first 2 at home.
Exactly.
Only 3 teams have ever done it in the history.
So why do you think that is, Ronnie? I mean,
yeah, I mean it's just it's like 4 games. You know, you would think it maybe not often. I agree with you, Tom.
Yeah.
Why does it not happen not more often?
Yeah.
You know, you win 4. You do it during the year, but I think a lot of it is probably starting pitching. You see,
yeah, probably.
And in the other series, Los Angeles over Milwaukee. Don't never go much by the regular season. During the regular season, the Brewers beat them all 6 times they played.
Oh, wow.
But Los Angeles Dodgers, 2 great pitching efforts. 8 innings, 1 hit by Snell, and then Yamamoto, a complete game, which you just don't see anymore. And that was 2 tremendous pitching efforts in those 2 games. Dodgers go back home. They got a great pitcher, Tyler Glasgow, going in the 3rd game. Shohei Ohtani going in the 4th game. Dodgers got a $396 million payroll. You ought to win. You know.
Well, you better.
You better win. But anyway, the LA pitching's been the difference, I think, in that one. And I think that it'll be LA and Seattle in the World Series, and the Dodgers. I think what I wouldn't mind seeing, just because of the salary situation, wouldn't mind seeing the Dodgers win about 5 in a row. Baseball do something in when nobody outside of Los Angeles cared a lot about what's baseball. But I'm disappointed. And I was telling you, that's another one of those sports to where when I was growing up, it's either on Channel 3 or Channel 13. You know what I'm saying is they rotated. Now these games of baseball, they're all over the place. They're on TBS. They're on all of them. You know what I'm saying is they're on the Fox. They're on Channel 11, Channel 37. I really never can keep up with it. You know, like 4 o'clock starts or 7 o'clock starts. But anyway.
Well, let's go back. It was WTBS was the Braves and WGM when Chicago. You knew.
Yeah, that's
I'm with you.
Reminding me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You become a Braves fan because you watched them every night on the Cubs. You know? And it was great because you didn't have the ESPN baseball games. So
exactly right.
And one thing we do want to go over the last Saturday, I did not get a chance to watch it. I hope all the prognosticators and all the people coming out of the camp, oh man, I hope and pray they know what they're talking about. Nothing but raves about Midnight Madness and the talent that Pope has assembled in his 2nd year. Now, I'm going to put a fly in the ointment in a moment. Ortega Oweh voted the preseason player of the year in the ACC.
Wow.
Jalen Lowe, the new point guard, named to the all-SEC preseason team. They got talent at every position. Now, my philosophy in basketball has always been 7-man rotation, and you don't go but 8 or 9 deep unless you get injuries or foul trouble. I want my best players on the court. Now, they can talk about depth, and I want a couple players off the bench that can play.
Yeah. But absolutely.
Let me say this. They are going to try to play. Now, listen to this. I have never heard of these. Are not walk-ons now of these. Walker Horn's the 15th player. He's going to try to play 14 players, maybe not every game, but he's going to try to. I don't. Basketball, I think, is a lot about continuity on offense and defense. Now, in my opinion, I love playing with this. I love playing with names. In my opinion, they'll start Lowe at 1 guard. They'll have a 3-guard lineup. They'll go with Lowe, the transfer from Pittsburgh. They'll go with Oweh, of course. They will go with Aberdeen, the transfer from Florida. and then they will go with the transfer from Alabama, Diabate, and Brandon Garrison, the returner. They'll go with Garrison, Diabate, and a three-guard lineup of Aberdeen and Lowe and Oweh. That's my opinion.
I'm with you on most of it.
And the sixth man will be Jasper Johnson.
He's got to get the minutes. He was too high recruited, too high ranked. How long does he come off the bench? How long does he – here's the thing.
What do you think happens with Noah and Chandler?
I don't know. I mean, Noah shot the lights out of it the other night if you didn't watch. I mean, he shot the lights out of it. But, now they were great. No, I don't.
You start from the 14th player. The 14th player is Reese Potter. He's a Lexington Catholic graduate. He's 7 foot tall. So but then you go 14 from him. Now, I'm not going to remember all 14 players, and I don't have them written down. But then you go to Chandler and Noah. Probably won't get a lot of minutes. That gets you down to 11 players. Quaiditz, who's the most talented. He's the projected NBA lottery pick next year. Coming off an ACL, he will have minutes of 5 or 6 minutes in each half. But a lot of people might say Jaden Quaiditz, transfer from Arizona State, recruited by Kentucky heavily, McDonald's All-American, tremendous talent, tremendous. Let me say this, injury-wise, I just don't think he's going to help him a lot this year, but he will get some minutes. And then you talk about the Adrejic, the Yugoslavian, great shooter, got size. I think he'll be in there probably at number 7. But then you got, like I say, you got some other kids, Brandon Hawthorne. Man, he's a talent, projected great. He's like 6'10", but he weighs 170 pounds.
Yeah.
They said so those 4, the Potter kid, the Hawthorne kid, and Noah and Chandler, those 4 players, that won't get many minutes, in my opinion, too. That gets you down to 10. And like I say, you'll have Jasper Johnson, you'll have Quaiditz, you'll have Adredelic coming off the bench, and so but a lot of depth. But let me say this: Kentucky getting rave reviews from the coaches poll. They're getting rave reviews from the Associated Press. I mean,
what do you think about John Wall back? Wasn't that a big boost? I mean, so many of those guys. Was it a Cal thing or was it a Kentucky thing? And Wall did a great interview. He said, "I'm a Cal guy." He said, "But I owe a lot to Lexington. I think this is where I graduated. I mean, this is where I went. I attended. This is my school."
Most of these players love Lexington, don't they? They love coming back.
Exactly.
But I'm
right.
like you. You had a good point to know. Are you a UK or are you a Cal? And it's great to see when you see the John Walls come back. It was great to see Tubby Smith come back. Tubby
it was.
Let me say this. I went to his basketball camp for like 3 years, and he was just, he was there just about the whole day.
Yeah.
Now, that can't be said about other coaches, but Tubby was there all during the camp, come around, talk to, really, really super nice. I mean, you just don't find many better gentlemen than Orlando Tubby Smith, in my opinion. But it was Midnight Madness. Oweh, preseason player of the year. Jalen Lowe picked on the preseason all-SEC team, so we'll see how that goes. I want to make a quick comment. Somebody else I'm impressed with, Kenny Brooks, 25-7, come from Virginia Tech. UK women ranked number 24 in the preseason poll. I think he's done a tremendous job. He lost his best player, Georgia Amore. That will be interesting how they handle the loss of her. But anyway, UK women, I think, are going to have a great year. And with that, we're going to step out and take a time out. We'll be back to talk some NFL. You're listening to All Access on the Appalachian Prep Sports Network.
All right, we are back here live at Shelby Valley Diner. My goodness, I'm telling you what, we got to find a way to make the commercials longer because we got to eat more.
It's eating good in the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly right.
But it's good eating in the neighborhood of Robertson Creek.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Thomas, next thing, and I'm just going to comment it briefly. You're talking to, you wouldn't believe it, but I used to have season tickets to Bristol for 10 years. Loved it, looked forward to it. People in my office months before the race at Bristol running, anybody got any tickets? Nobody mentions tickets to me anymore.
No,
never, nobody.
No.
NASCAR. My question is to people listening: why does nobody care anymore? I mean, what's wrong? I mean, why are today's drivers not as popular as the drivers in the past?
Well, I think a lot of it is the car is not the way the normal person thinks of a car. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, they raced real cars. They may even drove some of them to the track. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But now they're so much money. They come in with 3 or 4 cars, and they got specialists for this.
Test.
Yeah.
And they are just so boring to watch.
You think them old guys had wind tunnel tests? Yeah, that was a straight stretch out here on 23. That was the wind tunnel.
I used to be in a fantasy league, and I'll have to say after church, I'd look and see. But I made sure I was home. If it was a 1 o'clock race, I'd go out and eat. If it was a 4 o'clock, go eat and get home in time to watch. In my opinion, I'll get off this subject. The drivers in the past were so much more popular. I'll tell you how you know. You knew the faces of Earnhardt, Wallace, Martin, Allison, Ernie Irvan, Jeff Gordon, Cale Yarborough, the Labonis. And I'll tell you what. You look at some of the good drivers today, and I cannot tell you if they're interviewing them. I don't know who they are. So that's a big sign. You got Briscoe, Blaney, Reddick, William Byron, Christopher Bell. I mean, I
don't even know the names.
Well, I know the names, and I do watch it occasionally. Nothing like I used to. They just they'll just tap you with the top 10. I don't like the stages, and I don't like the last 10 races. I think it should be a points thing. And the ratings are way down. I think that's because it's on 10 different channels. It used to be just ESPN and Fox.
Yeah.
But now it's everywhere. You're lucky. It's on NBC now, and all that. But anyway, the ratings way down. And I tell you what hurt NASCAR too, going all over the country. Going to Kansas City, Vegas, California, Florida, Homestead, trying to pick up. When they left Wilkesboro and they only do one race at Darlington, they left Rockingham. They left a lot of great NASCAR fans behind. But that's my opinion on that. Let's look at the NFL. SV Cap last week. Of course, had to be, and I just wonder if there was ever a score in the history of the NFL was that. I'll have to look it up. The Broncos over to the Jets. Are you ready? 13-11. I didn't watch it, and thank goodness I didn't. Patriots having a good year under first-year coach Mike Vrabel over the Saints. Chargers over the Dolphins. Seahawks over Jacksonville. The Colts, the surprise team in the league this year, only one loss. They defeated the Cardinals. The Carolina Panthers, that was the shocker to me. I don't like the Cowboys either, but I thought sure the Cowboys would get that win. I don't care if it was. That's my shocker of the week.
Yeah.
Was the Colts, Panthers over the Cowboys. Rams was over the Ravens. I'm ashamed to say, hey, Coach, folks, I can handle it. The Ravens was my Super Bowl pick.
Oh, wow.
They're 1-5 now, but of course, Andrews don't have Lamar Jackson. And the Raiders over Titans. Titans fire their coach, Bill Callahan. But you know what? When you're 4-17, you're not going to last long.
Nope, exactly right.
Packers beat my beloved Bengals. Tampa Bay over the 49ers. Chiefs over the Lions. Falcons over Washington. The Bears surprised and get a win over Buffalo. Buffalo with 2 straight losses. And the Giants, in a surprise, beat Philadelphia. So a lot of surprises in that. When I'm looking at surprises, I'm thinking Seattle flying across country and beating Jacksonville. That was a surprise. Panthers over the Cowboys. You look at a couple of more that I thought was Falcons go to Washington, beat Washington. Bears beat Buffalo, and Giants over Philadelphia. And looking ahead, we'll make our predictions for a lot of NFL fans. All of you that are in 3 or 4 fantasy leagues this week. You got Green Bay at Arizona. That is my upset of the week. And you remember I picked a few weeks ago Philadelphia and Denver, and Denver got my upset pick this week and I love Green Bay. That's probably my favorite team in the NFC. But anyway, I'm going to go with Arizona to upset Green Bay. Indiana at the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Indianapolis gets their second loss of the year. Rams travel to Jacksonville. It's always tough for the teams on the coast and vice versa, but they're going to fly across the country and they're going to take on Jacksonville. I'm still going to go with the Rams. Las Vegas at Kansas City. Kansas City's got on track. Everybody tried to bury them.
No, they're coming. Coming.
This changes week to week. I used to think Philadelphia was the best team. Then I went to Buffalo, and now I'm at Kansas City.
Yeah, they're coming back. You can see it. I saw it last week. I did catch some of that game.
Yep. Kansas City over Las Vegas. Miami in an upset over Cleveland. Cleveland playing at home, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins. New England goes to Tennessee and wins. Carolina goes to the Jets. The Jets get their first win. They defeat Carolina, which surprised me with a win, but I'm going to go with the Jets. Chicago over New Orleans. Philadelphia over Minnesota. That's a tough pick, too, right there. Minnesota playing at home. They're a good team. Atlanta, San Francisco, probably no team decimated more by injuries than San Francisco, but I'm going to go with the 49ers to hang on and beat Atlanta in a close game. Tampa Bay's at Detroit. That's probably my favorite game to watch this week, and I'm going to go with the Lions. Any surprises in there?
No. I mean, like I said, I'm with you, though, Ronnie. I think right now the hot team is Kansas City, and they're coming on strong to make that push for the postseason, you know. You either love them or you hate them, you know.
I used to like them, but I don't anymore. I
guess see? You love them or hate them.
That's going to take care of the NFL, and we're going to take a timeout. We're going to be back. We're going to talk volleyball, and we're going to talk about our Players of the Week on the APSN Network. We'll be back in a moment.
All right, Ronnie, we're back. Before we get into volleyball, we got to hit a little soccer. We got to kick that ball around a little bit, too.
Absolutely.
Listen, my, regional tournament going on. The final four teams on Monday night. You had, girls was Monday. You had Johnson Central defeating Lawrence County to move on. And let me tell you something. We got to see those. We covered those Johnson Central Lady Eagles. They are tough, Ronnie. Defeated a very solid Martin County team 5-3. Then you turned around and in the nightcap, it was Martin County steamrolling Prestonsburg. You know, I'm partial to Prestonsburg. Sorry, my Martin County fans. I am because I coach the soccer coach in basketball, so I've known her a long, long time. But let me tell you what, Martin County's tough. We did something we typically don't do. We wanted to cover that, but there was various reasons we couldn't. Next year we will cover it. I'm going to say that. If
it's not the finals tomorrow night.
So finals are tomorrow night. Let's set the boys. The boys semis. Prestonsburg run past Pikeville, which kind of shocked me a little bit, you know. But Tegan Sloan right now is in a different world for Prestonsburg. Ronnie moved into fourth place all time on the assist list. He's a member of the 100 Club. I mean, he's trailing only 3 other people, so he's in a different league right now. And then you throw in Andy and you throw in Christian Amador. Those 3 are tough, and then a nice supporting cast. And on the other side, probably the best game of the whole tournament based on score, Johnson Central squeaks by a very, very tough Lawrence County team, 2-1. So sets the finals, like you said, for tomorrow night. Should be 2 dandies. Johnson Central, I'm not taking anything away from the boys. I think the girls is going to be a war. I think that one is going to be good. Now,
Johnson Central and Martin County.
And Martin County beat them already once, but now I think I'm going to. Sorry, Golden Eagles. I'm going to go Martin County, but I think it's really a toss-up. Mm-hmm. And then in the boys, I think right now Prestonsburg's just playing on a different level. I think Johnson Central hangs with them for a while, but I think Prestonsburg pulls away at the end. So. Got a lot of people. We're putting out a lot of information on soccer. Those soccer parents are just so excited, saying nobody gave us coverage. So we are putting out as much information as we can. So thank you. We'll show our players of the game here in just a second, but let's jump over to the other round ball. And I'm not talking basketball. Although today is a holiday in the state of Kentucky, right?
Yes.
First official day of high school practice is today. Yes. So. But no, we're going to talk volleyball, and my, oh my, Ronnie.
Shocker.
You know, it was a tough game. I've said all year, and I think Shelby Valley and Paintsville are 1 and 1A. I think any given night, those 2 can beat each other. Then I think 3 through 6 or 7 is extremely competitive. And I think those teams can knock off 1 or 1A in the right situation. But I think last night, my, oh my, you know, Kylie Kenner's Kylie Kenner.
Great player.
Ranked 2nd in the state in kills, only behind Miley Riddle of Shelby Valley. You know, she did what Kylie Kenner does. And somebody asked me, so why did you go with Mallory May? Mallory May, I thought last night, not taking anything away from Kylie, Paintsville fans, but I thought Miley was the spark, or Mallory was the spark. I thought she made the difference, Mallory did, and gave them the nod. And it was quick. It was 3-0. It was 3-0, 25-15, 25-15, 25-16. So now, and I asked Philip this during the broadcast, Shelby Valley was undefeated. Yes. If you're the coach coming in, you don't want to lose. Nobody wants to lose. But Are you glad you got that monkey off your back, so to speak?
Is it a wake-up call to where Coach Riddle knows, tells the players, we just can't roll the ball out to the net and expect to win. There's teams out there that's got some good players, and we better be ready to play. But I will, talking about the scores and look at the teams, and I would echo those sentiments. I'm not saying it can't happen. There's upsets every day in sports, but I would be really shocked if Paintsville and Shelby Valley, I just don't see anybody else, in my opinion, knocking them off before they would meet in the finals.
Well, they met 3 times. That was the 3rd meeting. You know, we covered them in the All-A. That was the night the internet was out at Eastridge, but we covered them via cell phone hotspot. Paintsville won, Shelby Valley won 2-1 because in a tournament they only play 3 sets. Then Shelby Valley goes to Paintsville and wins 3-2 in another super competitive. And now Paintsville comes up here and wins. Ronnie, I'm like you. I think they can meet again, but my, oh my.
Oh, you know, and I'm sure you were too, and I think everybody else was in the volleyball community. Not that they won, but 3-0.
Yeah. Now that was,
and pretty decisive.
It was. It was. I mean, Shelby Valley.
Like it is.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to know a lot of those girls. We've covered them almost all their home games, but I'm telling you, man, Paintsville came to play last night, and it was just a difference in energy. You could see from the opening
Good
tip.
word.
they had the energy and the difference to make it last night. So, but districts are next starts. Man, it starts next week, I believe.
No.
So,
but let's talk about energy real quick. A lot of people maybe don't follow sports real close like we do. They'll think of energy. That is so important. And how many times you see teams on basketball, football come out and lack energy, just dead in the water, whatever. No energy, no life. And what happens? They go home with a loss.
Exactly right. It's so easy. And we had covered Shelby Valley, and they had done that a couple times, maybe come out a little bit flat a little bit flat, and then turn it up. But last night, Paintsville just jumped out, had all the energy. Paintsville's bench was going crazy. So, and that plays a lot. Once you get that momentum, it's hard to break. But big time win for Paintsville, really big. But Ronnie, let's talk about, and I hope that these player of the game work. Let's jump over and talk a little bit about our player of the games, and I'm going to put my earbud in because I want to make sure it's coming through. It's a new scene I set it. So.
An important segment of our show. Recognizing these people on an individual basis.
Absolutely, Ronnie. So we're talking about soccer girls. Lauren Arrowwood, Johnson Central, in the semis, two goals, 1 assist, big time performance.
Big night.
Yeah, helped them win 9-0. Now this is last week, people. People tend to get excited, but this is last week. So big congrats to her. But then we want to talk about another. Something we do that I think is unique, Ronnie, is we go next up. Everybody has that great game, but there's a lot of other players
absolutely
that had great weeks. And Paula, I'm sorry, Dad, I know I'm going to butcher her name. Caronimus had 2 goals in Lawrence County's win. Paisley Sloan had 2 goals. Brayley Murphy and Carly Stanley for the Golden Eagles both had 2 goals, and that earned them the next up positions.
I like that next up.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's jump over to the boys real quick. And this week I did co-players of the week, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to transition this over.
Sometimes it's hard.
Well, Ada Minor had 6 goals in the Bulldogs' victory in the first round of the region. 6 goals and 2 assists. Well, how do you not give him player of the game with 6 goals in the game, Ronnie, in soccer?
Well, sure.
But then you had Tegan Sloan over there. Are you ready for this against Shelby Valley? 1 goal and 9 assists. And he broke the single season assist record that he continues to add to.
You know what I call that, Thomas? Co-players of the week.
That's exactly right. You had to do that. You had to. But then our I'm sorry, I switched over. Let's go here. Our soccer next up. Andy Cardenas, my for Prestonburg. He was on fire, 5 goals, 1 assist. Jackson Evans from down at Johnson Central, 2 goals and 1 assist. Christian Amador from Prestonsburg, 3 goals. And then Cooper Vinson from down in Lawrence County, 2 goals and 3 assists. And they all had great weeks.
When you got names like Cardenas and Amador, you better be good soccer players.
Hey, let me tell you what. We nicknamed the night we covered Prestonburg boys, we nicknamed Andy Cardenas the Magic Man, because what he did with a soccer ball was magic. He would move through traffic, set people up. He is a true talent, and if I'm not mistaken, he's only a sophomore.
Wow.
Prestonsburg is loaded again. Now let's jump up to volleyball again. These are last week's stats, and we're going to talk about I call her the little engine that could, and that's Talon Johnson. Let me tell you what, Ronnie. They had a 2-0 record. She averaged 11.83 assists a set.
Just amazing stat.
And before I knew a lot about volleyball, I never was a volleyball player. My daughter played like the 5th grade, and that wasn't a whole lot, but she was more of a basketball fan. But my, that is something else. That is controlling the ball. That person is the quarterback. All right, let's go to the next up here. Miley Riddle, 7.17 kills. Kylie Kenner averaged 6. And then we had a Lindy Gearhart. My, oh, my.
Yes.
For Pikeville. Honestly, Ronnie, if it hadn't have been for the week that Talon had, she would have probably been the player of the week. I mean, almost 9 assists a set. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Going back to Riddle and Kenner, did you think they both have a chance of making first-team All-State?
I do. I don't
think they should.
I don't throw that word around. I'm not that media outlet that says D1, D1, D1.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what. Those two probably are D1.
Oh,
I mean, they can legitimately go D1. Mm-hmm. And then we throw in a pair of Eastridge Warriors. Savannah Baldridge had some big, unbelievable year, averaging 5.22 kills. And then Lily Stacy averaged 8.7 assists. The young setter there for our good friends up at Eastridge. I'm telling you what, volleyball is exciting. Yes. I never was a fan. Now, I coached a couple girls in basketball that were volleyball fans. They said, Coach, you got to give this a try. You got to give Allison Hall, I'm sold. I'm finally a volleyball fan, okay? So let's talk next. Let's go into football. And my, oh my, did we have a performance by Mr. Talon Jordan. 25 carries, 307 yards, and 4 TDs. Yes, his team lost, but I don't care.
Yeah,
when you rush for 307 yards on 25 carries, you know, even my quick wheelwright math tells me that's over 10 yards a carry, right?
Absolutely. I'll get my calculator out, but I'll say this. You know, he is such a talent. And I said that earlier. Talon Jordan could play for any team. I mean, it's not like, I mean, he'll play anywhere.
Yep, I agree. And then something we do, and that's sponsored by our good friends up at Hall & Jones Funeral Home. The other thing that we do is, we do the next up is, and we mentioned him, Jonah Bartley, 14 carries, 165 yards, 2 TDs. Kane Patton, the Hurricane, in limited minutes, Ronnie, 6 carries, 190 yards, 3 touchdowns. Lane Adams, and I do apologize, I have this wrong, the KHS, they're updating it. 16 carries, 145 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Yeah. 5 receptions for 58 yards. And then you mentioned him, quarterback, Alex Johnson, 6 for 6, $190 in passing, 3 TDs, and 2 carries for 96 yards and 2 TDs.
Tell you, he's probably showing me as much as any quarterback in the mountains. I'm telling you right now, Alex Johnson. I'm telling you.
So they are loaded. But you know, one of the things that we do that I think is makes us a little bit unique is we eat a lot of wings. These girls are saying, "Boy, y'all need to hurry up on them wings," but ease up on them wings. But we recognize defense because you know one of the things I said in the post I made about this young man. When defense turns to offense, you're doing your job. Mm-hmm. And so we recognized Mr. Braxton Davis down in Lawrence County. 2 interceptions, Ronnie. Both of them were returned for touchdowns. Wow. Wait a minute. One of them got called back for a block in the back that happened after the play was already through. But he ended up with two interceptions, 88 return yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 tackle for loss. So not too bad for a defensive back.
No,
but
great
my,
oh my. Good athlete.
And something we started doing this week, you know, because we need the defensive standouts. My goodness. Let's talk about the young man from down there in Pike Central, Mr. Skylar Ray. Are you ready, Ronnie? 16 tackles in the middle of that line. Big old defensive tackle. 8 solo, 8 assists. Then Brody Howell down in Paintsville. 14 tackles, 5 solo, 9 assisted. And Jacoby Gibson up at Eastridge, not a bad night either. 13 tackles, 8 solo, and 5 assisted. That is some outstanding performances.
Oh, and it's great to recognize them. Not just having the one defensive player or the one offensive player, but having that next step to say, hey, if you're a Jonah Bartley or you're a Braxton Davis or you're a Jacoby Gibson, you're still going to get some recognition.
What-
You had a great night.
Absolutely, absolutely. Had so many career milestones. It's getting near the end of volleyball season. I'm going to try to go off memory because I don't have slides. Up at Eastridge, Olivia Stanley, 500 career digs, 500 career assists for Lily Stacy, 500 digs, and 1,000 kills last week, Mark, for Savannah Baldridge. Jaden Gerald down at Betsy Lane, Ronnie, 1,500 kills. I've got a text here. Somebody messaged me earlier. 500 let's see. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm going to forget somebody. But Talon Johnson already up to 1,000 assists. So many career milestones, but none bigger than Tegan Sloan. Set the single season record. So for assists in soccer. So, Ronnie, that's going to wrap it up.
Oh, it's been a great night. It's been a quick night. We've enjoyed bringing it to you, that's for sure. We hit on a lot of highlights. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate you watching, and tell your friends about the APSN network.
All right. Yep, I agree. So, you going to send us on?
I am. I'm going to thank all of our sponsors. Thank Tarlis Thompson and his crew at the Shelby Valley Diner. Thank you, most of all, of the people that listen and make this possible. Remind everybody, Friday night, we will be at Eastridge, a big district game. Shelby Valley travels to take on Eastridge. For all the APSN crew, Thomas Rainier, executive producer, I'm Ronnie Newsom, wishing you a good evening, everyone.